guys, it's Dan back for Generation Productions, and we're doing another bit of a story about gangweed. Now, the whole story about gangweed, according to an article by the Intelligent Lancer, or whatever you pronounce that word, Intelligent Lancer, the other thing about this thing about the gangweed. So what is gangweed, you may ask? It was actually a group for like social automation and context collapse that almost makes it impossible almost impossible to determine intent or even sometimes meaning, or online humour has grown weirder and more incomprehensible. What once impact front, this is all bullshit. But anyway, more or less, gangweed was a thing that started as basically like a meme kind of thing, but they used the Joker. So when they were using the Joker as their main meme thing, it was basically the Heath Ledger Dark Knight Rises Joker, or Dark Knight Joker, and if a gangweed image doesn't feature an actual image of the Joker, it will feature a character edited to appear as if they're like they have the Joker's trademark: pale skin, green hair, red smile. The point being that anyone can go Joker when pushed over the edge or far enough. So, and also the famous line of gangweed is, "We live in a society." Other famous memes is slonk gangweed. Now, slonking is basically some sort of weird thing, but yeah, that was one of the memes. It was called slonk gangweed. Gentlemen Gamers, Chad and Veronica, Gamers Rise Up, and of course we have the anonymous Guy Fawkes, aka basically Chan. Bottom text, watermarks, tall, crowded memes, drumped, and the list goes on and on. But yeah, gangweed was sort of like a thing that was sort of made for fun, and just trying to explain, we live in a society, and that if society breaks down, we can all become like a Joker, per se. That was sort of like the connotation to it. But yeah, but gangweed wasn't so bad. I was actually part of gangweed for a while. Then this guy called Chandromin came in and caused a bit of a disturbance. I tried to help the group members on Facebook of gangweed, a group of gangweed in Facebook, to help them say, hang on, this Chan bloke's trying to actually overthrow and take the group. And oh, by the way, just in case some people noticed, he has been trying to overthrow and take my Facebook group of Generation Productions, but I'm not going to let him do that. But that being said, eventually Chan succeeded in that because I chose not to actually go back to gangweed. But that was mainly because it's association with the Joker. And if you guys know what's me and the Joker have got issues, so you can look up the video on that. But yeah, but there we go. So basically, gangweed doesn't really exist anymore. Chanweed does, or anonymous weed does. But I hope the gangweed can still rise up and come back again, because gangweed wasn't all that bad, to be honest. Everyone assumes that gangweed is about gangs, which is fighting, or weed, which is drugs, but it was actually really much of associated with that per se. The weed thing maybe a little bit, but it was mainly a thing to deal with gamers and things like Fortnite, and other little bit tiny things like that. It never actually was you never actually really dealt real drugs as far as I'm aware of, and it was just a thing made up about being like the Joker. So basically almost like a Joker society, so to speak. But it was still fun, and I still enjoyed it. But just thought I'd let you guys know, from my understanding, what gangweed was about. So there's my video about gangweed. So I hope you guys all have a great day. Bye.